Welcome to Doorstep Destinations Dining segment. You are about to embark on a delicious adventure with me, Sandra, your host, co-founder of Doorstep Destinations, and this is your chef-in-art. Today, I welcome you to make Sandra's Succotash. It will be a combination of a wonderful grilled pork chop and a succotash that's going to be made out of these delicious vegetables. We have squash, yellow, green, peppers, red, orange, yellow, and a mixture of tomatoes, celery, of course, onion and garlic, my favorite ingredients, and other ingredients that you're sure to have at home. So if you're not prepared, make sure you've got at least some salt, pepper, oregano, olive oil, chicken stock, and tomato sauce. So I will begin by adding about a table or 2 spoons of oil to my big saucepan. It's probably a little larger than most home pans, but I like to have freedom of working in my skillet. And so we're gonna put that over a medium heat, medium heat, 4 to 6. And we've got our oil here. We're gonna let that warm up. And I do have some pork chops that my wonderful husband grilled last night. They are amazing. So I am using those little leftovers of our grilled pork chops to add to this delicious dish. So I would recommend, if you don't have some pork chops, you can put it over chicken, you can put it over any protein that you have in your house. I like to do this when I have leftovers, and they taste really good on grilled food. So I'm gonna pause there and let you go and get these ingredients ready to embark on our journey for this new dining adventure of Doorstep Destinations. So we'll pause and I'll see you back in a few minutes. Welcome back, friends. Okay, by now you should have chopped up your squash, your red and green and colorful peppers, just like I have here in my pan. We're also going to add 1 stalk of celery to this mix, so it looks really beautiful and bright. This is going to be a wonderful dish to add, again, to any proteins. I call it Sandra's Succotash. So we're going to add this to our sauteed onions and garlic. And this is more than for 2 people, but you get the idea. We'll go ahead and toss these lightly in our celery, onion and garlic mixture. And I like being a home chef. I don't think I could live with the scrutiny of being a real chef. So you've got me as a pretty good chef with really good seasoning. Again, I have a background in our family of really wonderful traditional cooking, not only Hispanic cooking, but I've traveled around the world, and I collect cookbooks from all over the world, and in maybe another segment, I'll share some of those cookbooks with you, but that's what I've picked up along the way in my travels. Those are my souvenirs, are cookbooks. So I like to explore new cuisines from different countries and share those with you, and I'll have guest chefs that will join us on these adventures, and I look forward to be able to sharing those experiences with you. And your saucepan and your you should be sauteing this at a medium heat. All right, medium heat. You should start smelling the flavors now of all these wonderful ingredients I'm gonna add a little bit of salt right about now while this still continues to saute. And again, you don't have to use as big a pan as I do, but I like having room to work with. And I don't like being constrained by, we'll just put a little bit of salt here. I'm using some Himalayan salt. It's a little bit stronger in this form, in the rock form, so I use it liberally, but cautiously. So we'll go ahead and saute that. It's starting to smell really good. Hopefully yours is too at your house. We're gonna let this simmer for about 10 minutes. We don't wanna get them too mushy. We wanna keep them a little bit al dente so that we can continue adding our ingredients. We're gonna follow this up with some chicken stock and a couple of more ingredients like fresh tomatoes. I've got about 10 to 12 little cherry tomatoes. I'm gonna add 2 normal tomatoes, salad tomatoes. I'll cut those on the next segment. And I've got about 1 can of tomato sauce, about 8 ounces there that we'll be adding to our dish. And there's not a whole lot of ingredients to this side dish, but it sure does taste delicious. So let's pause there, and we'll be back when your saute is ready, about 10 minutes. See you back. Is smelling as amazing as mine is right about now. Sandra's Succotash is on its way, and it's coming to your house. I hope you're going to enjoy this over some delicious protein. This is a wonderful vegetable dish, good for vegetarians as well. So now that we've got our ingredients, squash, bell peppers, onion, garlic, at about a little bit more than al dente, we're going to add 1/2 cup of chicken broth liberally over our pan. We're going to add, I have these pre-washed already, 2 tomatoes, and we're going to cut these tomatoes in big chunks, so like half and then quartered. I'm gonna quarter them. And I know this might seem a little strange, but I like to squeeze the juice, the tomato juice, just like so. We're making real fresh tomato sauce, if you will. So we're gonna put these out here on our dish, and we're gonna do the same with the next one. Cut these in quarters. And we're gonna squeeze some of the juice out, let it marinate all over our delicious succotash. Whoops. No one said you have to be clean in the kitchen, right? We can get a little messy. It's okay. And get our hands messy. And that's okay so long as you wash them, right? I'm a big fanatic of washing my hands in the kitchen, so I wash them all the time. We're going to do the same with our little tomatoes. I'm gonna cut them in half. And I like to use these little grape tomatoes of different colors. They have little different textures and different flavors, I like to think. So we're gonna cut these. These are a little harder to squish, but if you can get some of the juice out, like so. Doesn't that smell good? I said about 12, I'm not counting, but just a little handful of these tomato just to give it that pop that we like in the kitchen. I like to have pops when you bite into something, it's squishy in your mouth and it just bursts with flavor. I don't know about you, but I love different flavors and I like to experiment with different flavors, and I've done it for a very long time. So, true story, I started cooking to get out of going to church. Sorry, Grandma, but that's the truth. So when I was about 14, 15, I used to skip out of the sermon to go home and prepare Sunday dinner. And when my family came home, they were always surprised at what I was cooking up, right? And I learned to make a lot of things on my own, but I watched some really good chefs, as I said, in my house. But then they learned from me too, right? They learned new dishes because I wanted to steer away from the traditional cooking that I was used to at home and venture into new territories and explore new seasonings. So my family was always very pleased to come home on Sunday afternoons to something that I drummed up. So I've been cooking for about 40 plus years, not counting the date myself. But I love cooking, and I've always loved cooking for a long, long time. So I hope to share some of these wonderful dishes with you. I'm gonna add a little bit more of salt now that we've got some of our tomatoes in there. Again, I'm using Himalayan salt. If you've never used Himalayan salt, now is a good time. I'm sure that you will love it as much as I do. So I'm gonna add some salt. I'm gonna add some pepper to get it pop. Again, I like to grind my pepper as I cook because I think it just adds more burst of flavor. And that should do it. I'm also going to add some oregano, and oregano is a little bit more powerful, so I'm going to say we're going to use about a 1/4 teaspoon of oregano. Dried oregano is fine. If you have fresh oregano, knock yourself out. We're going to add that to our dish, and we're going to let that simmer for a few minutes, and then we're going to add our tomato sauce. Can you smell that oregano? Wow, it smells amazing. Doesn't it look beautiful too? Apart from smelling delicious, it looks amazing, and it's even going to taste more amazing in your mouth once this is ready. Okay. So we are now going to add the tomato sauce. Again, this is about 8 ounces of tomatoes sauce. And we're going to let that simmer all together for about another 3 to 5 minutes. So I will let you have a drink of your favorite beverage, and I'll see you back here in about 3 minutes. Very well. How is your succotash coming along? By now, some of the tomatoes should have broken down into more sauce. Your kitchen should smell amazing. And your vegetables, the squash, should be getting a little bit more tender. But we're not finished. We're almost there. we're gonna start by adding a little bit more salt, pepper, and oregano to the dish. To the final round, make sure that it's got enough spice. Now you probably may not have used as much ingredients as I have, but take a test, taste it, make sure you like it. I'm gonna add about another quarter teaspoon of oregano to my dish. I've got a little bit more, probably than you do, but just taste it. There's nothing wrong with tasting your food while you're cooking. That's part of what makes food delicious. I did taste mine, and I'm going to taste it in just a minute as well. That's good. And I've got some fresh bread that I picked up earlier today from Costco. And one of my favorite things to do when I get closer to finishing this dish is to take a piece of it and dip it in there, and it is out of this world. I'm sure that it's going to be one of your favorite things to do as you start making this dish at home. I'm going to take out my pork chops in just a few minutes. They're in the oven, just about ready to come out. And I'm going to get these plated up and get ready to put this succotash to the test. All right, I hope your kitchen smells amazing. Part of the joys of cooking is the smells, right? And the joy of having a drink with your family as you're smelling these delicious flavors and talking about your day. We just wrapped up the Christmas holidays, so we had a really good time. We had lots of things to talk about, and now it's time to eat. I think we are just about ready to pull out the pork chops. Some wine, some bread, some succotash. Life is good, right? That's what we want to really interject with our community, is all about dining, discovering, dancing, learning new things and new cultures, new traditions, so that we can all together have a better life. So now is the time to take out our pork chops and see what we're going to put them over this wonderful succotash that we've got here. And we've got some delicious pork chops, as I said, that my husband grilled last night. And I am going to plate them on the dish. Oh, they smell amazing. I have a really good grill master. I hope you have one too. If not, we can have classes on that as well. He has some really amazing dishes that he does. And this is ready to go on top of these wonderful pork chops. Not only does it smell and taste amazing, but it looks amazing too. So I'm going to be liberal with my dish and make sure that we've got enough ingredients on there. So this is kind of what it should look like. I hope that yours comes out as amazing as mine did. And why don't we give it a little taste test and see. So again, I have some fresh bread here. I'm gonna dip it in here, just like so. That looks good. Delicioso. Friends, enjoy. Until next time, Sandra signing off. We'll see you real soon.